Welcome back to the Bad Blood Podcast, everybody. I don't think this woman needs any introduction. It's Hannah Rankin. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It's great to be on here.
It is an absolute honour to have you on. I'm so pleased you've agreed to come on. Just like to introduce a couple of sponsors. Lookin Barbers. If you're a local listener, get yourself over there. It's a brilliant barbers, and it has a tanning suite, so you take full benefits. Mr. Bloom's Black Seed Oil Mechanics. It health benefits, loads of products. Check his website out. Go on his Facebook page and also his YouTube channel as well. And ScotWest Shellfish, fantastic company run by a fantastic team and a great set of people up in Scotland. So yeah, brilliant. That's the sponsors out the way. Hannah, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm a little bit tired from last night. Obviously, the boxing was on. How did you see it?
I mean, so obviously the Liverpool show with DAZN was absolutely brilliant. Like,
yeah,
an actual cracker of a show. Like, you know, when you're so excited to watch every single fight.
Yeah,
that's how I felt. I was like, every single one came out and just got better and better and better. So
it did.
Yeah, it was such a good night. And it was so great. Like, it's still kind of like almost a novelty to see like boxing fans all together again.
It is. It's great.
It was buzzing.
And
obviously the Fury Wilder card. Yeah, what a fight.
What a fight that was. But let's go back to the DAZN card, because the DAZN card was an absolute banging card. I mean, Smith and Fowler. Wow. What a brilliant fight that was. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it was just such a big build up to it anyway, and the whole it being like Liverpudlians and Liverpool and like headlining, it's like it's that whole sort of real for honor, you know. That the last fight that I saw like that was the Italian welterweight fight that was on the DAZN card in Italy.
Yes,
they were fighting for the Italian welterweight title, but I thought it was going to be done in the first 3 rounds, and then it was like for kudos, they just went through all the way through, and it was just like action packed. So it was really good.
Because the fight itself, like Fowler started great, but that just experience at world level that Beefy had, it really did take over.
I think that was the difference, you know. It's just that he's been at the top level of his game. He's been there. He's been against top level of opposition. He's had to work his way out with different things as well at the very top. So I think that's just basically what the difference was. You know, he's just had that experience, and he was brought into the ring with him. He didn't let anything faze him. Mm-hmm. You know, that even that little cut at the beginning, he was cool about it. It's like he'd been there, he'd done it, he wore the t-shirt. It didn't matter what Fowler was going to throw at him. He was going to find a way to land his shot.
Yeah.
And a very skilled operator last night. It was very impressive.
How do you see Fowler coming back? Because he can come back because he has all the fundamentals. He has the tools in the bag. Do you think it's just really gaining those tough fights, that's tough experience? But where do you go?
I think he said it himself last night, actually. He was just like, I just tried to jump too many stones at once, you know, and I'm not at that level yet. He works with Shane McGuigan, who I really highly rate as a fantastic coach, and you can see the development in Anthony all the way through since he's gone there, and he's just got better and better. So like he'll go away, and him and Shane will work on some things, and he'll come back and just that little bit level lower to then go up higher again, you know. So but he said it himself. He was very clear about it. He's like, I've got such heart, and you know, like I just wanted to come out and have a fight, and you know, I'm not at that level yet. And he was very honest about it. And you've got to respect him for that.
Oh, I love Anthony. I've exchanged a couple of messages on Twitter with him before. The guy's so down to earth. But it was a matter of experience, a lack of experience that's seen him through. Now moving on to the Fury Wilder fight. What's your thoughts on that? Because yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God, what a fight!
Yeah,
I think it was just an epic heavyweight fight. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like we've kind of been needing something like that for a while, and that sort of heavyweight fight with all the knockdowns, the different strategies that were coming into play. It was like a real old school heavyweight kind of
It was just a toe-to-toe battle. I mean, to survive the knock. Credit to Deontay Wilder, because many men wouldn't have seen through that. He continued on. Fury himself to come back from that again.
Yeah.
It just shows the level where they are at, which brings us to my next question. I want to get your thoughts on the Joshua Usyk fight, because do you think it was a smart tactic going into that fight, trying to outbox a master boxer? Because we're seeing the groundwork and the game plan, what you need to do to Usyk when in the Chisora fight. Now, I just found it very odd during rounds how they weren't switching tactics.
Well, I just felt, I think because I'm a massive Anthony Joshua fan.
Yes.
Right? I was absolutely gutted.
I'm devastated.
I was devastated. But the thing is, you can't take anything away from Usyk. He is such a class operator, some serious boxing IQ there, and very, very impressive for such a big guy to keep that pace. And we've got to remember, as AJ was trying to keep pace with somebody who's naturally faster and quicker than him. And that's why he was knackered by the end of it. He finished the 12 rounds and he got through them. But I think there was a lot of different voices going on in the corner. And I felt that played a part personally. Like for myself, I like to have one clear voice in the corner. I don't want to hear all different people saying things all at once. And he just looked a little bit like he wasn't sure. And what I felt was the first 2 rounds where you kind of you touch in, you find your distance, find your range. But then he kind of repeated that for the full 12 rounds. He never went straight through with the shots. Once he's found his range, you thought he'd go to that next level, but he didn't. And I felt maybe just that for him that his mindset wasn't quite in the right place. And also actually partially a problem to do with the whole lead up to it with the media as well. They actually had our heavyweight champion of the world saying, who knows what's going to happen? They actually had him saying that in a media response at the beginning. I'm like, why is our heavyweight champion of the world saying who knows what's going to happen? He knows what's going to happen. He should be going out there to knock Usyk out to win. So I just kind of feel like the whole message was really strange in the lead up, and I don't think it really helped him either.
Yeah. I think Dillian White was spot on in a circumstance in the state of the mind Joshua thinks. It just seemed in the fight, like you said, you picked up on round 1, 2, you're feeling your opponent out, you're getting reaction times, you're seeing what's going on. There just didn't seem to be a game plan B, C. He just didn't apply. I know you brought up, he didn't apply the pressure.
No. I felt like he was the one that was under pressure for the whole 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to commit. Whereas he's the bigger man.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've never been in with someone like Usyk, he must be a real headache of an opponent because, you think he's going one way, he's stepping the other. He's got beautiful footwork, beautiful upper body movement. There was a couple of times where there was 2 shots where AJ had hurt Usyk. And I thought, this is it. He's going to go.
Yeah.
He's always had that really strong finishing instinct. But he stepped off again. And he didn't go again. So I just think there was a bit of confusion with his game plan. And I just don't think he mentally went into it with the ambition to knock him out. I think he went in to get through the 12 rounds.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's just my personal opinion, and none of us will really know what goes on in his camp, of course, but I really hope we get the rematch. I'd like to see the rematch.
Yeah, we need that rematch. We need it. Moving on to yourself, you've been in with 2 of the biggest names of our, I'm going to say our time, because it is our time. Now, how, I know they haven't both went your way, but you get a chance to rectify that in fighting Maria and claiming a couple of vacant titles. How's your preparation gone for that?
Preparation has been fantastic. There's been a real level up in certain aspects of my performance training. I've been working with a great guy called Andrew Usher from Evolved Performance, and we've been actually working on various little additions to my strength training and more to my conditioning, because I'm always known for having a great engine and stuff.
Yeah.
But few little tweaks here and there, and we've had a Rankin 2.0 coming out, so I'm quite excited about it. Me and my coach Noel have been working a lot on various different things. We have a great game plan for this fight, so all in all, it's been a fantastic lead up to this fight, and I couldn't have asked for a better camp, to be perfectly honest.
I'm pretty confident in the win, and that's no disrespect to Maria. I just think that you've been in with a higher caliber operation, like opposition, and I just really do. I think this is your time, like now, to get those. And that's not just saying it because you're on the podcast. I think timing's crucial. Like
Yes.
obviously, how we're talking about Anthony Fowler getting those building blocks. I just really think that it's your time to take those titles. That is there any difference? Because a huge difference I know in results between Savannah, yourself, and you and Clarissa. But how is it competing to those when you're preparing for, no disrespect, because I know you have to see Maria as on their level too. But how has the sparring, how has all that transferred? Has that given you confidence to know that you can do this?
So I feel in a really great place mentally and physically. You know, I'm blessed with the ability. I'm blessed with great resilience, I think, as a person. But also, I think you learn the most from your losses. It's just facts. You know, if you have a great win, that's fantastic. But when you lose, you have to take what you did badly in that and what you did well. Actually, you got to look at both aspects and both angles. So from all of my losses on my records, I've been up against great fighters, and I've learned every single time I've stepped in the ring with pound for pounders. You know, what it takes to be a champion. And I truly believe that I am a world champion, and I've been world champion already. This time is going to be 2 times. But as I said, I am not underestimating Maria. She's an experienced operator. She's been in with a lot of people. She's fought for world titles, probably about the same amount as I have as well, to be honest. So we've both done, the full 10 rounds multiple times. We've both been at championship level multiple times. But this time, I just feel that I'm the stronger and faster, and my game plan is definitely the one that's going to work for this, and I have no doubts in my mind at all. So I'm really looking forward to actually getting in there and showcasing some of these things on the 5th, because I think people are really going to enjoy it.
See, that's where I was going to turn to straight after when we were talking about Anthony Joshua and the rematch. Like because retaining something that you've already had before, how much more, because I'm not an athlete, I'm not a competitive athlete. How much does that make the competitive mind in you to push that so much extra and harder? Because some people win a world title and their ambitions drop. That's it. They've won that world title. They've done what they've always said. But recapturing something and wanting more, you've got to take your mind to a different level.
Absolutely. And I think becoming world champion, what I did with the IBO in Scotland, was a fantastic night for myself in front of family, friends, at home, on the BBC. Just a massive bit of history for my country. So a lot of emotions. This time round, and I think at the time someone said to me, do you think you've overexceeded people's expectations? And at that point in time, I felt, I had. But this time round, when it comes to winning these world titles, winning the IBO and the WBA, there's going to be no exceeding of any expectations. It's all hard work and effort and determination, discipline, and constant improvement, and a lot of dedication from myself and my team's part. So every time I step in the gym, I try to be a better version of what I was before. So for me, when I get in there and get my hands on those titles, it will be down to all the hard work and effort, everything that I'll put in for it. So I'm that sort of level up, just the mental level up you're talking about. It's there, it's already there.
And it must, like you said yourself, it must play a huge part, knowing that you've got everybody around you who's got the best interest at your heart. Dennis has done a fantastic job with Fight Zone and what he's been able to bring during, it has not been a great time. And what he's managed to develop and what he's doing is fantastic. How grateful, because I'm not saying you need to kiss his backside or anything, because it does seem that there's a gap in boxing and there seems to be no middle ground. You're either an Eddie Hearn or you've got nowhere else. That's the perception. Now, that's what I love about Dennis's model. How grateful is it?
I think Dennis has to be honest, it's been genius. Like, I'm really a lot of great things to say about Dennis. Huge love for Fight Zone. I think the whole platform has worked incredibly well. It was like a little sort of phoenix out of the fire of the pandemic, you know. And I think it's what boxing needed. There's a lot of exciting fights on there, opportunities for young fighters in the first sort of 10 fights of their career to actually get airtime.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference to the sport because it actually allows fighters to build a fan base right from the very beginning, because we can never say that not being on the TV, you can't build as much of a fan base as if people can watch you and physically see what you do. You can tell people all you like, but when people can tune in to see it, it's a massive improvement for your career, and it allows it all to develop really well. Also, they've been really clever. They've got fighters on to talk as well, do a little bit of commentary, speak to people, and you get to kind of know a person. You get to know their sense of humor. You get to know whether they're quite quiet, whether or not they're, you know, they've got great character, really funny guy, you know. So it's been a really good model, and I think Dennis has done a fantastic job. For myself, obviously, signing a deal with him, first fight with Dennis Hobson Fight Zone, I'm fighting for 2 world titles. I don't know anybody else that's going to complain about a deal like that, let's be honest. So it'll be my first fight with them, and I intend to be their first world champion for Fight Zone and Dennis. So yeah, it's going to be epic.
When you've got the caliber of people around there who Dennis has got there, like having at the shows, the likes of Scott Quigg, your Anthony Crollers, your Kell Brooks, even Glenn McCrory, all former champions. You can, the advice that you can pick up off them when they're walking around and dropping their little bit of knowledge is it's invaluable.
Absolutely. Like Dominic McGuinness and Glenn McCrory have obviously been my little mentors when I've been doing commentary for Fight Zone, and they're just like the dream team as far as I'm concerned, because I learned so much from them. Some really fantastic advice about how to do comms, and also when to speak, when not to speak, how to talk during a fight as well. And yeah, no, it's been a really good learning curve. And obviously you get a chance to speak to Anthony Crolla, who also was a WBA world champion. Yeah, the knowledge is invaluable, and it just kind of, it really inspires me. It's a great environment to be part of.